What's up, everybody?
Hi everybody, it's Cindy here with Stampin' Chick Creations. I am back with week 2 of your Christmas series cards. So I hope you were able to catch week 1 and get those cards viewed. And if you can't, you can find them here on my YouTube channel. So go back and find week 1 of the series for the holiday cards. The cards were super simple last week, but they were definitely elegant. So I would love to hear your feedback as to what you would like me to design for you and create for you. So if you see something out there that you're like, how did they do that? Just send it over to me and I would love the challenge to see if I can make it. So I am going to make 2 holiday cards for you today. And one is actually I did with my team retreat. This past weekend, we spent the weekend, some of us at a beautiful, beautiful cottage in Bayfield. And so I did this card for my team so that they could see it. And then the other one is using a product that I think is completely overlooked in the book. So let's get started and I'll tell you what that product is. All right, so the product I'm talking about is the Shimmery White Embossing Paste. So this product actually comes in 2 options. You can have it in just the plain white or you can have it in the shimmery white. And it's a beautiful, I'm going to open it up here in a minute. It does come in this clear bag and it should always be kept in the clear bag and sealed very tightly. So if you participated in my embossing paste class this past week, you know all the amazing things that we can do with this, including tinting it so that we can make our own shimmery white embossing paste to match our colors and our projects. So this is a couple things that you need to know about this. This needs to stay sealed at all times. You do need to work somewhat quickly with this because it will dry, and once it dries, it hardens almost like a concrete. And it makes it very difficult to get off. So you definitely need a silicone mat for this project, and to work with the shimmery white just makes your life a lot easier. And the other thing that you need are these palette knives that we sell, and they do come in a 3-pack, and these are the 3 that are in the pack. And you will find the one that you prefer. I generally like to use this one, but today I am going to use this one here, okay? So you do want to move quickly with this. And the other thing I'm going to be using today for today's card are these designers masks. And so this is the one I'm going to be using today. But if you were in my embossing paste class, you would have received these as part of the class fee. And these ones also come in the kit. So or in the package, you have these sunflowers and the leaves and the centers. And I'll show you a really cool card I did with those masks as a side. So this is it. So I use those masks to achieve this look, which is really, really pretty and super fun. So you do have those that come with it. You also have this one here, which is fun. I haven't used this one as of yet, but it's going to be on my list to use shortly. And I did use this one on a leaf card as a background, and this was the card that I created using that. Okay, so some really great ideas, some really great items. So I am going to use this mask today, and what I'm going to do is I am actually going to use a Whisper White or basic white thick cardstock, and that is going to be my base. So when I use white or vanilla as my base, I definitely like to use the thick because I just find it provides a little bit more substance to my card, and my cards stand much better. I'm going to use a piece of Smoky Slate that we're going to layer on here. So I'm going to put those to the side right now, and then I'm going to use a piece of Night of Navy. Okay, so I'm going to put my Night of Navy cardstock onto my silicone mat. I'm going to bring in my mask. I'm going to lay this on top, and now I can actually position this mask wherever I want to get the look that I'm going for. I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape here to hold my mat down, just because I know how I operate, and I will move this, and then it won't be all that pretty. So I'm just going to do this. I have masking tape just sitting here on the counter that I pull from every once in a while. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, we have to move somewhat quickly with this. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you, this is the cover, This is does come with this tin cover that we want to make sure we're very cautious with. And so this is the paste, and it is kind of a creamy color. And it's like icing. It's like frosting, okay? And it just has some really nice glimmer to it. So what I like to do is, if I'm not tinting this, I like to just go ahead and put this on, and then I just put the excess back into my jar. So what I'm doing is I am literally just applying this like as if I was frosting a cake, essentially, is what I'm doing. And the silicone mat is going to help me keep my surface clean. But it is also going to help me, if anything gets sticky, it's a lot easier to clean off. And I'm just going to put the excess back into my jar. So once I have enough on here, then what I'm doing is I'm actually just taking my palette knife and I am just removing any excess from here that I want. And I just want to make sure that I've got all my mask filled in on this one. So when we did this in class, I actually said we don't want it to be a perfect coverage. For this one, I feel like I do want a perfect coverage just because I want my snowflakes to really, really pop. So I'm putting that back in. And again, I can always go back and add more. So like I said, we can tint this to make this whatever color I want. So I could actually have done this on white cardstock and tinted my embossing paste in Night of Navy if I really had wanted to. So I could do this exact card in a reverse, which would be so much fun. Okay, so here we go. I'm quite happy with that. We don't want this to be on too thick by any means. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to just put that back in. I'm going to clean off my palette knife. I'm going to put the lid back on and I'm going to seal this back up. Oh, and I have some here on my finger, which is not exactly what I wanted. So let me just open up these. Oops, daisies. My sorry. Now I'm making up words. How about that? My sorry. Okay, so I like to take a paper towel and just kind of clean that off, but I'm going to go run this under hot water in just a minute. So that's how you would clean this, is you would actually just run this under warm soapy water or just warm water. Putting that back in, and I'm sealing this back up. And this is really important because if this dries out, it's not a lot of fun to work with. You can add a little bit of excess water to it to loosen it up. But ideally, it's nice if you don't have to do that, right? So this will last you quite a long time, one jar. So this is a great card to do your holiday cards with. Great product. So I'm just removing my washi tape here. And I'm just putting it back up on my counter here that sits in front of me. And I'm just going to very slowly pull this back. And that's what I have. So I could have actually moved this over a little bit more because you'll see here that there's not a lot of snowflakes, but that's okay because I can actually just fix that up. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pause the video. I'm going to go wash up my items and I will be right back. All right, I am back. I've washed up my items. Now you will see on here I did not wash this with hot water. And you can see that there's a bit of a film on here still. And you will have a little bit of that film no matter what, even if you do wash it with hot water, just because it does leave a residue. Okay, so that is normal, so don't panic. I am done with my knives. So let me just bring this back in. All right, so here is my card. So you will see that this dries really quick, unless you're trying to do something like a snow, which would take a little bit longer. I'm actually going to put my card, I think, like this. And so like you'll see that this is a little bit damp, but not too bad. So you do want to keep it as a thin layer so that it does dry a little bit quicker. So what I'm going to do right now is I am actually, I'm kind of wondering if I want to make this maybe even a landscape card, because I did do this one as a portrait. And I think I'm going to do this one as a landscape, just for something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tear and tape down here. And I'm going to put it about there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in this beautiful ribbon that is in the Holiday Mini, and it's actually called Silver and White ribbon. Are they calling it something else? Just sheer ribbon. And it's beautiful. It's sheer, and it's got the silver on the ends. So I'm just going to kind of bring this one like this and this one back. And what I might do is just actually use another piece of tear and tape here. And just going to do that. I'm going to bring in my paper snips. Cut that. Trim this one. Here we go. All right. And I also have a piece of smoky slate and then a piece of basic white that I have actually die cut from the Nested Essential dies. And these Nested Essential dies are an absolute must-have for any paper crafting stack or stock. And they're beautiful. They're ones you're going to see I use a lot. I didn't think I was going to use them that much, but honestly, I'm using them more and more and more. Okay, so I'm going to actually use, I'm going to be very daring. I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm going to use this stamp set that actually comes from Very Best Occasions. And I'm using this one. It says, with a little more sparkle and a little less stress, let's make Christmas the very best. And I love it. So I'm going to see if I can actually use this. Now, I'm going to do something really tricky here. I am actually going to use my Starry Sky ink pad instead of my Night of Navy. And the reason I'm doing that is because my Night of Navy actually is not very juicy of an ink pad. And my Starry Sky is a little bit juicier. And it's very, very similar to Night of Navy. So I like to use these two intermixed as ink pads. So I'm going to try to stamp these. I'm going to try to stamp this straight and completely on the piece of white. Fingers crossed this actually worked. Okay, it's crooked. It's crooked, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with it. You know what? I'm gonna go with it because not everything can be perfect. If all your cards are so perfect, people won't even believe that they're actually handmade. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to glue this down. I know some of you are like, you can't put that down. That's crooked. Well, guess what? I'm gonna put it down. Sure as heck I'm gonna put it down. I am having a day. So I really don't think if I stamp this 100 times, I would actually get it straight. So I'm gonna put that down there. And then I'm going to bring in my card. Whoops, daisies. Maybe I should wait for my glue to dry. I'm telling you, this is the day I'm having today, friends. I'm going to put this there. Let's straighten that baby out. Okay, so I had some dimensionals here sitting on my desk that I was prepared to use. Okay, there's my dimensionals. I'm going to put these right about there. Is that pretty? And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this all down. I did do this similar card in landscape, so or in portrait. So I'm going to show you that card as well. So embossing paste, honestly, it's an amazing product that truthfully I don't think people know how to use. And I will tell you, some of the ladies did say, I'm kind of nervous to do this class. And I'm like, oh, don't be nervous. It's a lot of fun. As long as you know you have to wash your items right away. Can't leave them. They will harden and it will not be very good. You won't be very happy. Okay, so there is that. And what I'm going to do is I took my Take Your Pick tool to Bayfield, and it's not with me at the present moment. So I'm going to just use my fingers, oopsie daisies, and I'm going to put a couple little rhinestones in the middle of these snowflakes just to dress them up, because I think that just makes this card darling. What do you think? Okay, there is your first card. You see how simple that is? Super simple, and you can't even tell that I really had a boo-boo there, right? Yeah. So that's our first card. Did you like that card? I hope so. All right, so that was our very first card. So I hope that you will look at that embossing paste a little bit closer and not be so intimidated by it, because truthfully, everybody, it really is a fantastic project or product that you could create some really wow cards with and really wow your friends and family with it. I will show you the one that I did as a portrait. So this one, I did not add the other layer of the smoky slate that I did in this one. So, and I didn't add the ribbon on this one. So you can see just by adding a few extra little things, what a difference it makes. It just really steps the card up to another level. So just a little bit of ribbon and one extra layer of cardstock, and you have a whole different looking card. All right, let's get going on our fun fold card. So card number 2, I'm going to show you the card first just to show you what we're up against here. So this is the card. It is a much smaller card than what we would normally see. And it just opens like this. And then you can write your messages in here. So when it stands, it's kind of a tri-fold card. And it's this one here, actually, it's probably not now because it's been traveling with me, but this actually is a spring. So it will spring around on us as well. So let's get started on this one. This one we do need our paper trimmer for. So, and again, the measurements will pop up here, I hope. And if not, then please reach out to me and I will get those to you immediately. Okay, so the one thing that we need to do, we have lots of bits and pieces with this card for sure. It's not a hard card, it's just a few bits and pieces. So here is my cardstock, and I have it scored in 3 different spots. So what I need to do is I need to cut from this score line down to the corner. And so this was the part that once the ladies did it, they did not listen properly and cut the wrong way. So I'm making my angle on this side, and this one I'm going to do the opposite because I really want to create that that illusion. So here's the, what shape is this? I have no idea. Don't ask me because I'm the one who does not know their shapes, remember? Okay. You can get a prize if you can tell me what shape that is. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm going to lay this all out. This is going to be our mechanism. And so I don't know if you can see there's some score lines on there. And then we have some pieces of white cut. I hope I cut these all because I was cutting kind of quickly this morning. We're going to use this Designer Series paper, and it is from our holiday mini. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, incredibly beautiful. And then we have our white, which I think one of these is not supposed to be in here. We have 3 pieces of white. And then we have our 2 pieces that these are going to be our extra little mini cards. And then we have 3 pieces of the red and then 3 pieces of the Designer Series paper. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to cut these on a diagonal, because what we need to do is we need to, we're going to layer these, right? So we need to kind of keep these. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one and this one. Move this out of the way. So one of these is going to go here, and one of these is going to go here. One of these is going to go in the middle. Okay, so I'm building the inside of my card at this point, okay? So let's, now the great thing about the red is that it doesn't matter if you've cut it the wrong angle, you can just flip it over. Whereas with the Designer Series paper, you have to make sure your angle is going the right way, or you are not going to get the right angle. Okay, so not a hard card. It's just lots of bits and pieces, and that's really because I'm adding the extra layers because I do feel that the matting really makes this card I did one without the matting, and it just doesn't do it justice. And I just got glue all over my fingers, so this is going to be amazing to put the rest of this card together. All right, because I know we all have gluey fingers. There we go. Okay. Okay, this is what we have so far. Loving? Yes. Okay, looking pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead and put this piece in here, because I know that this one is going here. So we're going to go ahead and put this one in. Such. Now, we need to cut one of these. Actually, we're going to cut both. But let's do one at a time just for my own sanity. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this corner to corner. Now, these are the like the same size, right? So it doesn't matter which side. It's a square. So it doesn't matter which side I cut. Right? Loving it so far? You're with me? Okay, this is the easy part of the card. The easiest part of the card, actually. Okay, so let's do this one here. And this one here. There we go. Okay, good? Loving? Yes? Okay. So now, if I take my bone folder and just crease this, take this one, crease this, right? My card's coming together nicely. Let's flip this over. Let's cut your last rectangle on a diagonal so we can put those there. So we're going to put this one. So far, so good. My fingers are so sticky right now, and my baby wipes are not near me, so I can't even wipe off my hands. Gotta love that. Okay. So, are you a messy crafter? Because I feel like lately I am. I don't feel like I ever used to be, but I feel like lately I am. So, let's see here. Okay. Beautiful. So now I do have this other piece of designer series paper that I'm going to go ahead and cut on diagonal so we can do these ones. You're going to say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to make this card, right? I hope so, because it's a fun card. And honestly, the instructions that I saw were very, very confusing. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. And then when I just sat and did it myself and figured out which pieces went where, I was like, okay, that is really not that hard. But the instructions that I got were overcomplicated, and I have no idea why they felt to make them that complicated. I think sometimes that's what happens on these videos. People try to make them overcomplicated so they think that the card's really like ooh la la, and it's really not. All right, so here we go. So now what we need to do is we need these little doors. So one is going to go here. And one is going to go here. Make sure I go this way because I don't think I scored that properly. But the really tricky part is that we need to make sure that when this closes, that these all lay on top of each other so that they're nicely laid on top. I would show you my boo-boo if I could locate it, but I can't. So my first one I didn't really put that much thought process into it, and these don't lay on top of each other. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am actually going to go, okay, that's where I want that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some glue on the bottom portion, and I know that I want my door to open up, so I'm just going to let that sit there for just a second. While that's doing its thing, I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm going to put that on here. Okay. Beautiful. Now, I do have a piece of white here that I'm going to not write anything in. So I'm just going to put that on the inside of my little door. Bam. Right? We're happy. So far, so good. You're with me? Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to close this up. Right? And then I want to lay this down. So I want to make sure that when I open this here, that it's opening that way, right? So I'm going to lay this on top like that. I'm going to put my glue down here. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to, oops, daisies, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. That's exactly what I didn't want to do. My apologies. Sorry. Let's try that again. I knew I was going to do that because I'm just having that kind of a day. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my glue here. Sorry, not here. So I'm going to put my glue here. This is why it's really important to watch where you're putting your glue. You're going to put your glue here. Okay. But it's okay that I boo-booed that because I'm going to fix it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix it. Okay. So open and open, right? So I'm going to close it and close it. But see how they're laying on top of each other beautifully? That's what I want. So if I go ahead, I have already cut these pieces of red that apparently I cut the wrong size. Poopy poop. Okay, no, I did. Okay, that one piece I thought was not supposed to be there is actually supposed to be there. Okay, that's what happened. I had an oddball. That goes right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this down. And I'm going to just match that up with that piece. Okay. Now I need to make sure it's really matched up properly. Oops. Okay. Okay. And I need to put my Designer Series paper down. So put that right there as well. Okay. So yeah, I cut these ones the wrong size. That was really, really silly of me. Ah, poopy poop. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut another piece of red for this piece because obviously I cut it the wrong size. So, and that's just to finish off the card. Not that it's really wrong if you leave it like this, okay? So we can do that after. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna bring in my stamp and I'm going to use Wishing You a Season of Light and Hope. And is that what I want to use? Yeah, I think that's what I'll use. So when you go to do your stamping, though, you have to think about this for a minute. Let me get this out of the way. So what you want to make sure you're doing is that this is, if you stamp it like this, it's going to be, so if you stamp it like this, your words are going to be off a little bit. So you want to make sure that you're stamping it actually on a diagonal, like in a diamond shape, essentially. Okay. So I'm going to use Sweet Sorbet for this. I like to use Sweet Sorbet as an alternative to Real Red. Again, because it looks a lot like the Real Red, but I find it's just a lot juicier of an ink pad. And my red, actually my red's probably not too bad because I just ordered my red, but some of my ink pads are not that wet, and I like them to be wet. Okay, so I can go ahead and I can glue this piece back in here. Okay. So that when they open this, that's going to go like that. Okay. Now I can decorate this as well. I have to cut that piece. And then I have this piece here, which I'm just realizing is probably going to have to be adjusted a smidge because this piece is not the right size. Okay. This is what happens when you rush. This is supposed to all be a rectangle. So, I mean, a square. There I go again with not knowing my shapes. But nonetheless, we will make this work. This is like what happens on a recorded video with me. You never know what you're going to get. Okay, so I'm going to do, let's see if Deck the Halls will fit on here. Yeah, I think so. So let's go ahead and I'm going to bring in an Old Olive. use Deck the Halls. So Deck the Halls is actually from this stamp set here, which is Classic Christmas. It's an incredible set. It's in the Holiday Mini. Make sure it's on the right angle. There we go. Not bad for camera. On a Tuesday where everything is going wrong, because that's when I'm recording this video, is on Tuesday. It should be a Monday because things are just not going the way I had anticipated for today. Okay, so there we go. So there's my card so far. So it's going to open. It's going to open. And of course, I got to fix this just because I know it's supposed to be there. So now it's going to bug me. All right. So what do we need here? Well, I just realized because I messed that up, I need a piece of white right there. So I will have to cut that as well. Let's see how big this one is, and we can just cut it out of this piece right here. So this one is a 2 by 2. So we will do this one at 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go here. This is going to go here, like that. Okay, but we need to do the spring. So this piece that I said is our mechanism. It has 3 score lines on it. What I want to do is I want to fold the 2 closest ones to the center in, and then I'm going to fold it back, and then I'm going to fold it in. I'm going to fold it in, back, in, like that. Okay. Now, what I want to do is these 2 open pieces, I'm going to put some adhesive on here. I'm just going to use my liquid glue. And I'm going to put this here. I put this here. And I'm going to find roughly the center of my card. I'm just going to hold that there for a second so that can dry. And this is going to allow our card to bounce, okay, which is super, super fun. Which is kind of what, you know, makes this card even more enjoyable to give to somebody, is the fact that when they open it, it's kind of springy, right? Let's see. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this piece down, and I'm going to glue it onto here. Okay, so I'm just, oops, so daisies, let's just hold that there for a second. Okay, now I need to stamp something on here. So originally what I had stamped on here was Merry Christmas to you and yours. I'm thinking because I cut this smaller, it may not, oh, maybe it will fit, actually. I was thinking maybe it wasn't going to fit, but I'm going to do the Christmas part first because I want it to make sure that it actually does, in fact, fit. So I'm going to do this one in Old Olive. So, Christmas. So Christmas is going to go right here. Okay, happy, yes. We're quite content with that so far. And then, so this is the widest part of my card, right? So that's the part, or the longest part of my stamp. So that's what I want to make sure it actually fit. And then I can go ahead and I can work on the spacing for the rest of it. So Merry to you and yours, I will do separate. So I'm going to just take that off the block there for a minute. So this one says Merry, and I'm going to do this one in Sweet Sorbet as well. Make sure this is still working. Yeah. Okay. So Merry. Doing that in Sweet Sorbet. So then I can decide if I want it up here or down here. Merry Christmas. And then to you and yours. Put it there. To you and yours. Okay. Happy with that. I like to, for holiday cards, mix up my colors a little bit. In the sense that I like to kind of intermix the red and the greens on things like this, because people don't realize that those are 3 different stamps, and they're like, wow, look at that, you even use different colors, and you're like, yeah, and they think you've worked really hard, and you know, we all know that they're 3 separate stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this down here. Let me straighten that out here for us. There. Okay. So let me close up my glue, because my glue is going to... So you can see how fun this is now. So this is springing. Can you see that? Springing. Yeah, super fun. Okay, so this is where we're at. So there is our card. So opening here, and of course I can put something there if I wanted. And then I'll have to put another piece of red here, just because I like to make it look a little bit more finished. So if you kind of get the idea that this would go about there, well, this is not the right piece. So, but we could put that there. I think I actually threw the piece out. And then this opens here like this, and then there's a springy. So I can still write my message there, or I didn't even have to put a stamp here. I could have actually just wrote another message there. And so it does fit in a standard envelope. It is a little bit bulky though, so you probably don't want to be mailing these ones. But here is the original card that you can see, right? So the really important thing is to make sure that your squares are all lining up and that they are working nicely together. All right, so let's bring back the original card, the first card that I did. So here it is right here. So again, using the embossing paste, the masks, and some rhinestones and this beautiful, beautiful ribbon. And then we have this card here that we just did, which is a tri-fold fun fold card. All right, friends, I hope you loved those. I would love to hear what you would like to see next, because we all know that I love creating for you. So please be sure to follow me on this channel. Please be sure to subscribe and ask your friends to subscribe, because that is the biggest compliment you can give me. When I see I have new subscribers, I kind of get a little bit giddy. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy those. I hope you come back for week 3 next week. And if there's anything you would like to see in the meantime, please definitely reach out. I would love to create for you. All right. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.
It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together. You know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we love.